Hi everyone, I'm Liz, and this is my cottage. Some of you already guessed it, but I honestly can't really believe it myself. I bought an 18th century timber frame cottage. And of course, I will show you around the entire cottage today. Are you ready? I discovered this cottage online on Christmas Day in 2022, and the buying process stretched out until last week, which is April of 2023. The cottage was built in the late 18th century as a sort of recreation area at the edge of a small, quaint medieval town. Fun fact: back then it used to have an outdoor bowling alley. It had now belonged to the same family since 1898 until I bought it last week. So now we have a bit of a renovation project on our hands here. The house looks really pretty on the outside, especially the timber frame. But there is quite a bit of work to be done on the inside and in the garden. Alright, let me show you around. So we have this little entrance area here, which I would generally like to keep because I can put my muddy rubber boots or hiking boots in there, but it will definitely get a new look. I just haven't really figured out what to do with it yet. So we come in through the front door into the hallway. Alright, so we are in the hallway, and I'm sorry that it's a bit dark in here, but I obviously have no lamps yet, So what you will notice in here is that most of the interior is not from the 18th century. It's from the 60s to 90s. And I get the impression that during those times, people did not appreciate historic buildings the way we do today. It always feels as if the goal back then was to mask or to conceal that this is a historic building and to make everything look modern. So we have a challenge here to restore this beautiful old cottage to its former glory. What you are seeing now is literally the status quo with 0 renovation steps done. I really wanted to give you a proper before and after of the renovation of this cottage. So yes, this is day 0 of the cottage. Alright, we are in the kitchen, and as you can see, there are absolutely no cottage vibes yet. So the plan is going to be that the actual kitchen area with appliances, fridge, stove and so on is going to go over here. And then here on this opposite wall, I would like to have a door that leads into the dining room. So the door is going to go here, simply because it would be more homey and more practical as well to have the kitchen and the dining room connected. And then here we have a wood-burning stove, and I love it. This was kind of a criterion for me for buying a house, because as if I would ever move into a house without a wood-burning stove, so absolutely love this. We have the dining room here. So here we have this tiled stove at the moment. And I'm going to replace this with a fireplace where you can actually see the fire. And here we're gonna have a large wooden table so I can invite all my friends over. This room is gonna be seriously cozy when I'm done with it, but in here you can clearly see what I meant mentioned earlier with people just not appreciating historic buildings. This room has zero cottage vibes. So for example, what you can see here is beautiful 60s ceiling covering, fantastic, beautiful. Yeah, apparently nobody aspired to give this house the cozy cottage vibes it deserves, but we are going to change that. So behind this door is a staircase that leads into one of the basement rooms. There are actually 3 of them, which comes in really handy as storage space is always a plus. And the previous tenants used to have their food pantry in here, which is good because it's cool and underground, but of course it needs some serious cleaning up and prettying up, as you can see. Alright, so may I introduce you to the authentic historic staircase. The staircase is actually from the 18th century and it's completely creaky and crooked, and I love it. What I don't love though is that someone painted it this beautiful brown color, again probably in an attempt to disguise that there is beautiful authentic wood underneath. So the brown color definitely has to go. It's gonna be a bit of a pain, but I'm up for the challenge. The white parts I would like to keep. I'm just going to give them a fresh layer of paint. They can stay white, but the brown parts I will try to restore to their former wooden glory. And I'm gonna wear this jacket because the heating is not on yet and it's very cold in here, so I hope you don't mind. Alright, follow me please. We are heading upstairs. We are now on the first floor and we have a balcony up here that overlooks our garden. The balcony is in pretty bad shape, so there is a bit of work to do to make it pretty, but also to make sure no water gets into the room below. I don't have a fixed plan for what to do with this balcony yet. I'm slightly overwhelmed with the amount of options of having both a garden and a balcony now. What I love up here is the carriage wheel on the wall that came with the house. I'm so going to keep this. Alright, so this is the bathroom in all its 90s glory. This is actually the room I already have the clearest vision for. I already created a 3D model online to make sure everything is going to work out the way I planned it. So basically the layout is going to stay the same, but everything will be replaced. So the tiles will be replaced, toilet, sink, bathtub are going to be replaced, and then we will have a shower in the corner here. So the layout will essentially stay the same, just everything is going to look newer and fresher and less 90s. Now, as you can see, the bathroom is more on the smallish side, which is not ideal, but I think it's gonna be super cute once it's done. So also on the first floor is the largest room in the house. And I struggled with this room a bit because I really didn't know what I wanted to do with this room. Based on the rooms I showed you so far, I still need a bedroom, a living room, and an office. At first I thought I would make this my bedroom, and this would make a certain amount of sense because this room actually leads to another smaller room. Let me show you. It leads to this smaller room here, which is going to be my walk-in closet. So as this room is adjoined to the walk-in closet, it would make sense to have my bedroom here. However, with my full-time job and this YouTube channel, I spend about 8 to 12 hours a day at my computer, which is a lot. Like I really spend most of my day at the computer, and that means my office really has to be a beautiful, light, airy, cozy place simply because I spend so much time in there. It really can't feel claustrophobic or cramped. So I decided to turn this room into a beautiful work and living space. So that means I am going to have my desk over here, my work desk is gonna go over here. If I have to work for long hours, I often feel very cut off from the world, if you understand what I mean. And having a window really helps with that. So I can open it, I can look outside, breathe the fresh air, and that really helps with that. So yeah, the desk is gonna go over there. And then on the other side of the room, I'm going to have a really nice couch corner with a coffee table, and maybe I can even put up a screen on the opposite wall, like up there, for movie nights. And yeah, then this is going to be a very comfy, cozy, beautiful living and working area, which in my opinion makes sense if you spend so much time in it. So we are on the second floor now, and let's start in this small room back here. So we have the heating system in here, and I would like to put this into some sort of closet just so it's not that visible and ugly. And then what's happening in here is I would like to turn this into a small bathroom with at least another toilet and sink. I'm personally a huge fan of having enough bathrooms in your house, especially if you have people over. So yeah, this will be happening here. Now, as you can see, we have 2 more rooms up here. Isn't that lime green a gorgeous color? Not. Now, as you might be able to see, the ceilings up here are very low. They are actually 1.84 meters or 6 foot, which is no problem for me at all, but a problem for almost everybody else. Fun fact, this was actually a big plus when I tried to buy this house, because there were quite a few other people interested in buying this cottage. But because most of the men couldn't even stand in here, this was quite the advantage, so that really helped me in purchasing this house. But I have plans. What I would like to do is, I would like to remove the ceiling and open these 2 rooms up towards the roof, and potentially some beautiful wooden beams as well. So that means that this wall here is also going to disappear, and I'm going to have one large room that opens up towards the roof, which is gonna be super cool. I'm really excited about this. And this is gonna be my bedroom, so this is where I will be sleeping. Sleeping under the roof has just always made the most sense to me. No matter what kind of house I envisioned for myself, I would always picture myself sleeping under the roof. It's the most quiet room in the house, which is not that much of an issue because we're not in the city, so it's not noisy, but still, it's perfect for sleeping. Also, with the new smaller bathroom that we're gonna have here, it's gonna be super convenient. I don't have to go downstairs if I have to go to the bathroom at night. So yeah, this is going to be my bedroom up here. Super excited about that. Alright, so when we step outside, we have the second basement room, and here you can clearly tell that this place is from the 18th century. So there are a bunch of spiders, plus this looks super historic. Let me show you. So I have no idea what to do with this room. My sister suggested turning it into a wine cellar, and I kind of like the idea, but I haven't really figured it out yet what I want to do. It needs some serious cleaning up and prettying up though, as you can see. And then I have this third basement room here, which is actually on the ground floor, but it looks very basement-ish. So as I mentioned, the balcony needs to be fixed so moisture can't get into the room below, and this is this exact room. So this needs to be fixed before I can turn this into a proper room and put my washing machine in here. I also have a garage for my car now, which is pretty exciting because I never had one in my life, so yeah, that's cool. And then of course there's the garden. I definitely wanted a little backyard or front yard to plant some veggies and herbs, some flowers, but also to be able to invite people over for barbecues and lovely summer evenings. This wish has come true now. There are already quite a few plants in this garden. I have an old apple tree, quite a few roses, which I love and would have planted anyway. I have peonies, rhubarb, and a ton of daisies, as you can see. I'm very excited to see the garden in full bloom and to find out what else is here. Thank you so much for joining me on this cottage tour today. I will of course share the progress with you guys and keep you updated on how this cottage is transforming into the cozy cottagecore home it is meant to be. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or wisdom you would like to pass on to me before I start this renovation, please don't hesitate to do so in the comments. Thank you so much and see you next week.